Hello guys and welcome to another all-time greats 50 over World Cup episode. Today is round 5 and we see some interesting games in the first lot of games we'll showcase on the video today. Got Sri Lanka taking on Pakistan in the first match. That should be a good match. Sri Lanka got a very good win against England away from home. Pakistan have been in splendid form in this competition. Then we got India at home to New Zealand. That should be another cracking game as well. You'd think India would be the slight favourites to win that one. We have the West Indies taking on Australia, what will be a thrilling game as well. The power of the 70s and 80s West Indian bowling lineup taking on Australia with their formidable lineup through the late 90s and 2000s. Zimbabwe taking on Bangladesh. That'll be a good game. See who has the upper hand there. Afghanistan, South Africa. You'd think South Africa will get that one. Oman at home to England. Ireland playing Scotland. That'll be a good battle there. And the Netherlands taking on the UAE, with the Netherlands looking to bounce back and getting some wins there. But yeah, exciting preview of today's episode, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Smash the like button, share with a friend, and we'll get straight into the episode. So the first game is about to begin in round 5, guys. Sri Lanka taking on Pakistan. Sri Lanka getting a good win over England in the last game. Pakistan unbeaten in this competition so far. Got a thrilling game in store. Sri Lanka will provide a wicket that will offer a bit of turn, so we can play Mendes and Muralitharan in the lineup. So this is the lineup. Tirukaratne Dilshan and Sanath Jayasuriya are opening up the batting. Marvin Adapadu at 3, Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Rangatunga and Silva make up the bulk of the batting. A lot of experience there, guys that have been there, done that, and a lot of bowling options in that top 7 as well that offer a bit of spin, bit of medium pace. Maharu, Chaminda Vas 8 and 9, and Mendes and Muralitharan, the two main spinners rounding out the 11 here. As you see, the conditions favour some spin bowling. Now we're into the Pakistan lineup. Now the informed Pakistan side, very good side we're putting on paper today. Side Anwar opening up with youngster we've picked today in Imam Ul Haq. Has a pretty good start to his career. 750, 700, 52.4. Deserves a bit to go in the all-time great squad. Babar Azam at 3. The great Pakistan batsman Javed Miandad. Got Zaheer Abbas at 5. Inzamam Haq at 6. So they've got a very good top 6. The all-rounder Imran Khan. He'll provide some very good valuable runs with the bat and ball. Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis will be our opening bowlers today. Got Sukhwan Mustak as the spinner, and we've got a few guys that can maybe bowl if need be, but this is the teams today. Let's see who picks up the result. And it's Pakistan who will win this game by 43 runs. So a great wee tussle this match was. But Pakistan batting first, 273 for 9. With Inzamam Ul Haq 81 off 85, 6 fours, 2 sixes, and Imran Khan 65 off 64, 6 fours, 2 sixes again. Wasim Akram with a good finish, and Waqar Younis with a bit of a finish as well. They were 85 for 5 at one point, Pakistan, and that was credit to the bowling of Maha Roof and Chaminda Vas. Did a very good job there. It's just so the part-timers, well, not really part-timers for Sri Lanka, let the game get away a wee bit. And then, but 5 for 68 for Chaminda Vas, 2 for 49 for Maha Roof. Mendes and Muralitharan picking up a wicket apiece. To the partnerships now, the key one, 138 between Ul Haq and Khan. And that was significant in getting them towards that total. Sri Lanka will be a wee bit disappointed they got bowled out for 2-3. They had a genuine chance in this game. Marvin Adapadu, 78 off 92. But not really much else, if you know what I mean, in terms of support. Like the order, it's pretty solid there, but it just got ripped apart. Your constant partnerships throughout the innings, but when they're 137 for 3, just a wee collapse in between that and 188, and sort of put the game out of reach. But 2 fizz for a show of Akhtar. Imran Khan 2 wickets for 39. 2 for Waqar Younis as well, and 1 wicket to Akram, Mustak and Abbas bowling a few overs as well. Zaheer Abbas can bowl a little bit. Sport on for some part-time stuff, but win to Pakistan. They will keep their unbeaten streak in the tournament. Rightio, to another very intriguing game. India taking on New Zealand, 2 5-star rated teams. Both teams in reasonable form in the competition, with pretty much New Zealand having 3 wins and a loss. India 2 wins and 2 losses at the moment. So India looking to win to move up the table. Here New Zealand looking to consolidate on their position. So Let's see how this game will pan out. So India put on a pretty strong lineup in today's game. We've got Darwin and Sharma opening up the batting, along with Virat Kohli, captain, Sachin Tendulkar at 4. Got Jadeja batting a wee bit high at 5 today, with Mahendra Singh Dhoni at 6 with the closer. They've got a reasonably long batting lineup though. We've got this fella here. He was a very handy Indian player in the 80s and 90s. So definitely look out for him. He very good stats of 24.13, the average 28.88, and that's Prabhakar. I hope I got that name right. I'm not going to get that name right. Kapil Dev at 8. Anil Kumble at 9. Obviously, a wee bit of spin with Jadeja. And we've got Shami and Bumrah, two modern players getting a go today. I think they'll be a good opening pairing. Their averages speak for themselves. They've just got slightly better career averages than Khan and Shrina. So we're going to give them a run today. Without further ado, guys, let's get to the New Zealand team. So New Zealand lineup is very different today. We're going to give another person a run, another all-time great. We've got a couple all-time greats that we're going to bring into the team. Got Roger Toos. Roger Toos was a very handy batsman who retired a wee bit early in his career. He was pretty much only 33 when he retired. He could have played a few more seasons for New Zealand, but 2050s 100, average of 38.81, 103 his highest score. Definitely deserves a shot in this game. Let's get to the other team players, shall we? Martin Guptill will open up the 2s. Williamson, Ross Taylor to Martin Crowe. Got Chris Cairns at 6. Chris Harris getting a go today. Chris Harris, sort of very economical bowler. The man that will get a lot of caught and bowls. Very unusual action. Good old Chris Harris. Loved his fielding back in the day. Very good left-hander for New Zealand. 1650s 100, average of 29, 130. Got that at the World Cup too. Over 4,000 runs. Over 200 one-day wickets as well. So definitely a legendary player for New Zealand. Got Richard Hadley opening up the bowling. We've got Daniel Vittori at 9. We needed a spinner in the team. Williamson can bowl a little bit of spin there, but got Kyle Mills getting a go today. Kyle Mills had a very respectful career for New Zealand. 240 wickets at an average of 27.02. I definitely consider Kyle Mills one of New Zealand's greatest limited overs bowlers. He deserves a shot today. And we've got Shane Bond making up the team for New Zealand. So it's going to be a very closely fought game. Who's going to come out on top? We're just about to find out. So New Zealand absolutely come to India and blow India off the field. Incredibly, New Zealand got 329 for 4. With Roger Toos 88 off 118, 10 boundaries. Martin Guptill 93 off 89, 14 boundaries. 40 off 27 for Kane Williamson, 5 fours and a 6. Ross Taylor 35 off 35. And Chris Cairns blasting India to all parts. 68 off 34, 7 fours and 3 sixes. Tough day for the Indian bowlers with Bumrah none for 40. Pick of the bowlers. Prabhakar 2 for 90. And 1 for Kumble and Kapil Dev. Partnerships for New Zealand. The opening run stand 161. Ross Taylor and Chris Cairns putting on 97. That sort of took the game away from India. And India capitulated to 100 all out, which was remarkable how strong their batting lineup is. They just got nothing going. Only one partnership between Jadeja and Dhoni. They were 4 for 3 at some point. So they've really come to play New Zealand today. Hadley 2 for 16, 2 for 17 for Bond, 3 for 40 for Mills, 2 for 12 for Chris Cairns, and 1 for 15 for Vittori. India will be bitterly disappointed with that. And that is just a really nice result for the Kiwis over the Indian side. Very shocked result that. I thought India would have been favoured to win that at home. This is a game everyone would love to see. The West Indies taking on Australia. Two absolute legendary sides of world cricket. West Indies winning a few World Cups, 75, 79. And Australia winning the 99 version, the 03, 07 and 2015 versions of the World Cup. So both teams are littered with superstars. Really looking forward to bringing you guys this game. It is going to be pretty much a surface that will suit the West Indies. They will go for pretty much a seamer wicket. So let's, without further ado, get into the team. So we have a pretty strong team for the West Indies here for this big blockbuster clash between them and Australia. Chris Gale and Desmond Haynes will open up the batting. Got Viv Richards at 3. Brian Lara and Clive Lloyd at 5. Shy Hope at 6. So that top 6 will be looking to score the bulk of the runs. Dwayne Bravo getting the game today. Dwayne Bravo hasn't played too much in the all-time great series, but he is a good enough player to feature in this. Just a man that can bat a little bit. 10 50s, 200s, average of 25.37, which is respectful enough with a decent strike rate there as well. And he's nearly got 200 one-day international wickets, so he definitely deserves a spot there. Got Malcolm Marshall, Joel Gardner, Michael Holding, and Curtly Ambrose making up a formidable West Indies pace attack. They'll be looking to take the attack to the Australians. Let's see the Australian lineup, which is up next. A very interesting team will make the field today for Australia. We have Mark Waugh getting a game today. Mark Waugh can bowl a bit of spin as well. But a very good career of 50s and 1800s, 8,500 runs of career and 85 wickets at 34.56. May see him feature at the bowling crease today. He's opening out with Adam Gilchrist. Got Dean Jones, Ricky Ponting, and Michael Hussey making up 3, 4, and 5. Michael Behrman, very good in run chases. We're very good at finishing off in innings. He'll be in the team. He can bowl a little bit of spin as well. Got Shane Watson batting at 7, so he's playing a different role today. So he will be asked to bowl probably quite a few overs. Then you got Shane Warne at 8. Ryan Harris. Didn't play too many games, but 21 games, 44 wickets, and average at 18.91. 3 5-wicket bags. This guy was an incredible bowler. It's just a shame that he was just injured a lot during his career. He would have played a lot more games for Australia. Then we've got the great Dennis Lilly and Glenn McGrath opening up the batting. So blockbuster clash. Some great names there. A lot of World Cup winners amongst both teams. Who's going to take out the game? And it's Australia taking it out by 90 runs. So a very good day's work for Australia. As they posted 354 for 6. That's the biggest score on the tournament. Mark Waugh, 72 off 66, has got up top, 10 fours, 2 sixes. Adam Gilchrist, 45 off 59. Dean Jones, the highlight of the day, 139 off 85 deliveries, 27 boundaries in that. Ricky Ponting, 43. And Shane Warne towards the end, blasting 36 off 29. Brilliant knock. The bowlers just didn't have a day to remember at all. Malcolm Marshall, 2 for 40, and 1 for Bravo and Ambrose, but they were super expensive. Took them out of the game, so the partnerships were just really good throughout. 118 for the first wicket, 90 for the third, and 67 for the 7th wicket there. So the run rate just accelerated perfectly, just accumulated nicely. But they had good overs throughout, and they had a really massive over where they hit quite a bit. I think it's the 40th over. There's been a bit of carnage in that over. Yeah, 6 boundaries off the over. Incredible. But yeah, Dean Jones is over man of the match. West Indies only composed 264 in response. With Chris Gale 59 and 58. They started off alright, and then the task was too much. Clive Lloyd 36 of 46, 42 of 35. No big 100 here, and they were bundled out for 264. With Ryan Harris 4 for 70, getting through a mountain of work. Surprisingly, Shane Watson wasn't used, and Michael Hussey was used instead, which is a bit silly from the game. But oh well, Australia will pick up a very good win over the West Indian side by 90 runs. Very intriguing game coming up. Zimbabwe at home to Bangladesh. Zimbabwe have fallen off the radar in recent years, obviously, with just not getting the same quality players that they had in the 90s and 2000s. So that's their predominant team today. Taking on Bangladesh, who have been recent improvers in world cricket. They've had a few good victories, especially in all formats. Let's go to the teams, shall we? Yeah, a nice looking Zimbabwean lineup. We've got Grant Flair and Alistair Campbell opening up the batting. Andy Flair at 3. Brendan Taylor at 4. We've got Williams and Raza, who will get through a few overs, 5 and 6. Got Johnson at 7. He's streak at 8. Graham Creamer at 9, just to get a wee bit of good quality spin through. Mu Pereira getting a game today, and Chitara making up the lineup. So they're going to be competitive in this game, Zimbabwe. It wouldn't surprise me if they did get a victory here today. They're a good enough side, and they've got a lot of bowling. So let's get the Bangladesh side and see what they've come up with. So the Bangladesh side taking on Zimbabwe today. We've got Tamim Iqbal opening up with Lilton Das. Shakib Al Hassan at 3. Probably one of the best all-rounders that have been produced in one-day cricket. He is still going in his career. He can still probably get 3 or 4 years out of Shakib. And then you got Mushfiqur Rahim at 4. Saka at 5, batting an unfamiliar role. So is Emerald K's, but it strengthens that's their batting in the middle order. Then you got Mamadullah at 7. Then you got the bowlers. You got Mashrafi Murtaza opening up with Rahman. So a decent combination there, experienced combination. Mohammad Rafiq makes the team today, and Rubiul Hussain will make up their bowling order. So without further ado, guys, let's get the result. And Bangladesh will win this game by 5 wickets. So good convincing performance for the Bangladesh side. Zimbabwe 227 all out. The Flower brothers getting a decent couple of scores there, but there wasn't too much else in the order where the Bangladesh bowlers were consistently able to break through and just cause all sorts of difficulties. So 3 fizz for Murtaza and Hussain, and Rafiq and Hassan picking up 2 wickets apiece. The partnerships for Zimbabwe, there was a good second wicket partnership of 73, and just a good few fighty ones towards the end. Got them to somewhat of a score, but it was never going to be enough on a batting surface. And Bangladesh convincingly win 228 for 5, with Saka and K's batting an unfamiliar role. 64 of 69 for Saka, 8 boundaries, and K's similar sort of 63 of 69 and 10 boundaries there. And 1 wicket for all the Zimbabwean bowlers. Bangladesh deserved winners today in the run chase, and it just told their experience just by playing regularly good opposition. Zimbabwe put up a good fight, but Bangladesh picking up the result. Next game of cricket sees the host Afghanistan taking on South Africa. Both teams in desperate search of a win. Afghanistan with only a 1 win and 3 losses. South Africa 2 wins and 2 losses. South Africa, you'd feel as though a better side than what they've showed so far in the competition. But this could be an interesting game. Afghanistan obviously at home. They have turned on the Dust Bowl today, so they're going to incorporate all their spinners. So let's see what they've got in store and see what South Africa combat it with. So the Afghanistan side is pretty familiar. Mohammad Shahzad opening up with Shah. Got Shahidi at 3, Zadarin at 4, Stanek Zai at 5, Shinwari at 6, and Muhammad Nabi at 7. Got Rashid Khan at 8, Mujib Ur-Rahman at 9. So you got 3 really high-class operators to spin. Even Shinwari will churn in a few overs. And then you got the youngster who's been picked up by Leicestershire, Naveen Al-Haq. Definitely deserves an opportunity to sort of prosper and get a wee bit of a chance here with the all-time great Afghanistan team. And he's opening out the bowling with Hamid Hassan, one of the Afghan great pace bowlers. So pretty solid team. Let's see what South Africa bring to the table. Wee bit of a different team today for the South Africans. Got Hashim Amla. He will be not captain, will be Faf du Plessis. He'll open up with Botar Dipanar. Dipanar had a very solid career. 26 50s, 400s, average of 42.23, just over 3,000 runs. Strike rate's a bit iffy, but Botar Dipanar should be able to adapt to the situation here. And we've got AB de Villiers, Faf du Plessis 5, and another modern player, David Miller, getting a go. Very good finisher for South Africa. 14 50s, 500s, average of 40, strike rate of 100. Him and Lance Klusener are very good finishers. With Lance Klusener 41.1 with the bat, obviously, as well. Sean Pollock, very much a good solid number 8 and a good all-rounder for South Africa. Then you got the Imran Tahir, Alan Donald, and Makaya Ntini getting a go today. Makaya Ntini, very respected career. The man that had sort of a really good in-swinger, just because of his action. I really loved watching Mackay and Ntini bowl over the years. Very much looking forward to seeing how he plays. And we've left some quality players on the bench, Quinton de Kock and Mornay Morkel. But without further ado, guys, a game South Africa expected to win, but let's find the result out. So South Africa have won this game by 81 runs. South Africa restricted to 275 for 8. With AB de Villiers 92 off 83, 15 fours and a 6, and Botar Dipanar 56 at the top. And we had Klusener 49 towards the back end of the innings. So they kind of had a wee bit of a struggle day. Afghanistan got their bowling attack probably spot on today. 3 for 53 for Al-Haq, 3 for 45 for Oman, and 1 for 47 for Muhammad Nabi. So Afghanistan let them get away when Botar Dipanar and AB de Villiers got the crease and then sort of pegged it back. In response, Afghanistan's batting was just a bit shaky. Just haven't really developed any world-class batsmen yet, but They put up a reasonable fight, getting to 194 with Lance Klusener, the show of the day, 5 for 18 and deserved man of the match. 2 fizz for Tahir and Nintini. Sean Pollock economical up the top with Alan Donald there. But a very good win for South Africa. A tough game for South Africa, but they've pulled through. Rightio, the next game is Oman taking on England, with a game England expected to dominate. Oman making up the numbers in this tournament, but they have been super competitive in this tournament, which I'm being very pleased with. They haven't been absolutely smashed, but England have a bit of an experimental lineup today that you're going to see. We're giving some other players a bit of a run because it's a game they're expected to win. But without further ado, let's see what these two sides are going to bring today. So the Oman team basically picks itself. I've got Masood, Singh, Elias, Good, Prajapati, Nadeem Kumar, Butt Khan, Kalimullah, and Khan. Bilal Khan being one of the pivotal bowlers who's played a bit of cricket around the road, and very good average too, so good quality left armour that they got on their side. But they got their work cut out for them today. But they've got some guys that are averaging some decent numbers in that lineup, and they'll be hoping to be competitive in today's game against the England side. As you can see, guys, this England team looks a bit radically different, especially in the batting. You're seeing a lot of the bowlers take place in this tournament. But we've got Alex Stewart, the Englishman that played a lot of cricket in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Very, very good cricketer, Alex Stewart was. He was a guy that just was a reliable keeper and definitely deserves a spot in the all-time greats series. We've got Chris Broad getting a game today. That is Stewart Broad's dad. 1150s, 100, average of 40.03, 106 his highest score, but a very solid opening batsman with Stewart. We've got captain today, David Gower, 1250s, 700s, average of 30.78. You may think it's not a great average, but at the end of the day, David Gower played in the era where the West Indies had a good bowling attack, and there's some very tough pitches to bat on. So his average of 30.78 is not as bad as what you think. He's captain today. Joe Root at 4, and then we've got Jonathan Trott at 5, and we've got another player, Robin Smith, 1550s and 400s, average of 39.02, 167, the highest score there for Robin Smith. Freddie Flintoff at 7, he's opening up the bowling with Bob Willis. Got Ian Botham at 8, Swan at 9, and Goff at 10. Still a pretty good England side, you'd have to say. But without further ado, guys, let's get to the result. And England win by 101 runs. So another reasonably competitive effort from Oman. They are expected to probably drop all 16 games, but they restricted England to 86 for 7 with Joe Root 60 out of 58, 10 boundaries, and Jonathan Trott 83 off 66. Flintoff with a good flurry at the end. Chris Broad sort of was a wee bit of a struggle at the top, and Gower, but they got a few runs there. 3 for 78 for Kalimullah, 2 for 35 for Masood, 1 for 37 for Nadeem. They did well, Oman, I'd say, to restrict England to that. A couple of decent partnerships, Broad and Gower, and then Root and Trott and Flintoff in that innings. So Oman in response, 185 all outs with Butt 51 of 43, 7 fours and 2 sixes, as Oman were bundled out for 185. 3 for 43 for Darren Goff. Both of them 1 for 14 off 10. Economical as anything. 3 for 21 for Bob Willis. Another good day for Bob Willis. 2 wickets for Flintoff. And England win that convincingly enough. To this game, Ireland taking on Scotland. Ireland still undefeated in the comp, but they've had games they've expected to win. Probably one of their tougher games yet against the Scotland side, who have had a reasonable campaign with notably upsetting Sri Lanka. Let's see how these teams go in this particular game. The Irish team has a pretty solid look to it. Ed Joyce, Paul Stirling opening up the batting. Balbirnie, Porterfield, the O'Briens 5 and 6. Cusack at 7, an interesting selection, but he might be an all-time great when it comes to the end of his career. Curtis Camphor getting a game here. Very impressive against England in a recent series in the last year. 350s, an average of 50.83. 8 wickets at 30.62. He can do a bit of everything at the moment. Just hopefully Curtis Camphor can develop his game a bit more. But he's getting a shot today. Trent Johnston, Murtagh, and Rankin make up a pretty decent lineup. So Ireland got a bit of bowling across the board. Be interesting if they can go 5 and 5. Scotland are not going to be pushovers in this game. They've got a pretty experienced side and a good side in that. Gavin Hamilton, good English county journeyman, along with Kyle Coetzee at 2, and captain Matt Machan at 3, Callum McLeod at 4, Ryan Watson at 5, Preston Momsen at 6, Cross at 7, Brown at 8 will provide some handy overs with the ball as well. Davey, Sharif, and John Blaine will make up the team today. So they've gone for pretty much an all-seamer lineup with Hamilton can bowl a few overs. They've got options across the board here. So this game will be fascinating. Who's going to pick up the result? And it is Scotland picking up the win over Ireland here. So Scotland have ended Ireland's unbeaten streak. A very high-scoring, entertaining game. 343 for 9 the Scots posted. Kyle Coetzee 126 of 125. 14 fours and 3 sixes. And then there's good, solid batting with Watson 41 of 30. 30 of 19 for Preston Momsen. 44 of 30 for Matthew Cross. And Joshua Davey 21 off 8 towards the end. Got Scotland up to a formidable score of 343. Not a good day at the office for the Irish. 256 for Murtagh, 257 for Cusack, 371 for Rankin, but Johnston and Camphor were pretty expensive today. In response, it was a mighty effort from William Porterfield, 140 off 119, 17 fours, 3 sixes. 50 to Sterling at the top, Johnson 31 off 19, but 301 for 8 off 50 overs. It was just a bit tough going. So 1 for 40 for Blaine and 1 for 39 for Brown. They were economical, and 2 for Davey and Sharif. They were expensive, but with a couple economical bowlers there, it was definitely enough. And you can see the over by over comparisons. Like Scotland's were always ahead, then it sort of extended that gap, and then there was just too much for Ireland to overcome there. So very nice result for the Scots. Ireland will be disappointed with that, but nevertheless, well deserved and well played to Scotland. To wrap up the round, guys, we got the Netherlands taking on the United Arab Emirates. So all the away teams have won today's episode. So will this trend continue? Will the Netherlands break that streak? It'd be an interesting game. Netherlands have had a reasonable World Cup. They have, of course, got an upset win in the competition, which was against the Sri Lankans. And they've been in reasonably good form, beating Oman, and they've just recently lost to Ireland and Afghanistan. So the UAE team, pretty much similar sort of situation. They've had pretty competitive games. They've lost to Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka. The UAE beat Oman in recent times, and they've also lost to Ireland. So must-win game today for both sides to move up the ladder. Without further ado, guys, let's look at the teams. So Ireland have a pretty experienced lineup. We're going to open up with Zuderant and Baresi. They've been in good form, those two. Cooper and Tenduscar 3 and 4. Cravasi at 5. Van Nootwyk at 6. Van der Merwe at 7. The 3 at 8. Stelling at 9. Bukhari at 10. And Jonkman at 11. So they've got a pretty solid team there, the Netherlands. Let's see what the UAE bring. So UAE have got a pretty familiar lineup. We've got Anwar and Ali opening, Usman, Karam Khan. We've got Swampnil Patel today. Pretty much better numbers than what shows here. He's pretty decent keeper batsman. We've got Mufti at 6, Mustafa at 7, and we've got Amjad Javed. 450s, 200s, 23.10, high score of 164 in one day cricket, and he can bowl a little bit as well. 84 wickets at 31.63. Don't mind his one day international stats, he's better than that. Got Raza, Garuj, and Helder making up the lineup. So who's going to take this game out? Will it be the Netherlands, or will it be UAE making a clean sweep for the away teams this week? And the Netherlands will make sure the home teams get a victory this week. They have posted a 41-run win over the UAE. 260 for 9 they posted, with Cravasi 63 off 65. Van der Merwe 58 off 62. Decent bowling performance from the United Arab Emirates though. 2 for 21 for Raza, 3 for 51 for Khan. 2 for 47 for Javid at the top there. Good solid partnerships with the 105 one between Cravazy and Van der Merwe. Very crucial when the Netherlands were in a bit of trouble there. 219 all out in response. United Arab Emirates. 57 to Ali. 43 or 46 for Patil. 36 of 60 for Javid, who had a good game. But 3 for 37 and 3 for 40 for Bakari and Van der Merwe did the job for the Dutch, and they pick up a well-deserved win in this competition to wrap up round 5. Okay, so this is the table after 5 games here. So Pakistan still remain unbeaten. They have got the maximum 15 points. Then you've got 3 teams on 4 wins and 1 loss. That is Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. Then we've got a few teams on 3 wins and 2 losses, which are South Africa, Netherlands, and Scotland. Pretty much surprised to see India that low with 2 wins and 3 losses, but they're tied with Bangladesh, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and England. Sri Lanka, surprisingly, should be a wee bit higher. They've lost 2 games to the Netherlands and Scotland. England will be looking to improve throughout the competition. Zimbabwe 2 and 3 as well. The United Arab Emirates 1 win, 4 losses. Same with Afghanistan, who have been a bit of disappointing this one, and Oman 0-5 in the campaign, expected to probably drop all their games. So that brings a wrap to round 5, guys. Round 6 will be really enthralling. Who is going to make the plays in this competition? Who is going to be the ultimate winner of the All-Time Greats Cricket World Cup? Comment in the chat. Once again, subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, and we'll see you next time.